something is moving through our solar system, and no one is giving us a straight answer about what it really is. It isn't a comet. It isn't an asteroid. And now, thanks to new images from the James Webb Space Telescope, it isn't a mystery anymore. Not entirely, because this thing, this object, it was never just passing by. It came here for a reason. And what it's doing now has every space agency on edge. If you're ready to hear the truth, stay with me. And if you love deep space mysteries like this, subscribe right now. Because this story goes darker than any of us expected. It started quietly. No explosions, no dramatic announcement, just a small note buried in an observation log. Unusual non-gravitational acceleration detected in object 3I Atlas. That's all it said. But that one sentence was the beginning of something bigger, much bigger. The object was given a harmless-sounding name, 3I Atlas. The third interstellar visitor humans have ever recorded after Oumuamua and Borisov. They called it a comet. They called it natural. They said it was just another rock from another star system drifting through space. But that's not what it is. And now, looking back, it seems obvious that nothing about it was ever normal. Not its size, not its speed, and definitely not its behavior. 3I Atlas, as it's spoken, wasn't even supposed to be here. The path it took across deep space defies the randomness of interstellar motion. It came in at an angle only 5 degrees off the orbital plane of our planets, the thin, flat disk where every world in our solar system orbits the Sunday. That shouldn't happen by accident. Space is three-dimensional. Objects come from anywhere. So why did this one arrive on our playing our level like it was deliberately aiming for us? NASA didn't talk about that. ESA didn't talk about that. But quiet voices in observatories around the world did. People who still believe in data more than politics. They ran the probabilities. The odds of a random interstellar object entering our system so perfectly aligned with the orbital plane of our planets, 0.2%. Not impossible, just unlikely. But then another strange number appeared. Experts measured the size of 3I Atlas, and that small concern became a warning. It was gigantic. Oumuamua, the first interstellar visitor, was small, just a few hundred meters long. Borisov was even smaller. That seemed reasonable. Small objects wander. They get pulled by gravity. But this one, this thing, was over 3 miles wide. That's wider than Manhattan. A floating mountain of rock, dust, and something else they didn't want to mention. A natural object that massive entering our system was rare enough, but it wasn't just its size. It was what it was doing. As it got closer to the sun, astronomers waited for something familiar. Heat should vaporize ice on its surface. Dust and gas should stream behind it. Like every comet ever recorded, its tail should face away from the sun blown by solar radiation. That's the rule. That's physics. 3I Atlas didn't follow the rule. James Webb revealed something no telescope in history had ever seen before. A jet, a narrow, focused beam shooting out of the object pointed directly at the Sunday against the pressure of solar wind. Against every law of nature, rocks don't fire jets toward stars, but spacecraft do. That's when scientists started whispering the word no one wanted to say in public. The word that would get you laughed out of any conference room. The word that is now impossible to ignore. Artificial. Somebody or something made it, or sent it. And this was before its closest approach to Mars. Before the shutdown. Before the signal. before we discovered that maybe, just maybe, we were never alone in the first place. So what is 3i Atlas really doing here? What is it pointing at our sun? Why is it following a path so perfect, so intentional that it feels mathematically programmed? And most of all, why now? That's where our story begins. The deeper scientists looked at 3i Atlas, the less sense it made. It behaved like it knew where it was going, like it was following instructions. And soon, it would fall under the watch of the most powerful telescope humanity has ever built, the James Webb Space Telescope. But before that happened, something else did. Something no one expected. Something no one could explain away. The first people to notice were not NASA scientists, not ESA teams, not government labs. No, this discovery came from someone without funding, without clearance, without fear, an amateur astronomer. His name was Stephen Burns. He wasn't famous. He wasn't trying to uncover a cosmic secret. He didn't care about conspiracies or aliens. He simply loved the night sky. He owned a modest home-built observatory in New Zealand, where he spent quiet nights imaging galaxies and nebulae, just for the peace of it. But on October 15th, 2025, something appeared in one of his Mars sky captures. Something he didn't intend to find. Something he never asked to be part of. A streak of emerald green light moved across the Martian sky at an impossible speed, nearly 60 kilometers per second. Faster than orbital debris, faster than meteors, faster than anything that should have been there. Stephen thought it was a glitch. Maybe cosmic ray interference, maybe lens noise. So he restacked the images, cleaned them, reprocessed. It didn't vanish. It was real. A thin, razor-sharp beam of light or motion crossed the frame in a single second, too straight to be natural, too clean to be random, too deliberate to be ignored. He posted the footage online, quietly, with no commentary, no theories, just a simple title: Unidentified Motion over Mars. Need help verifying. That was it. He went to sleep. When he woke up, the internet was on fire. Astrophotographers ran motion analysis, engineers calculated trajectory angles, data analysts enhanced the frames. It wasn't a glitch, it was real motion, a real object, and it was heading in the same direction as 3i Atlas. Within 12 hours, the words artifact and object tracking Mars appeared across Space Forum. Within 20 hours, the footage hit mainstream channels, and then it vanished. The original post was removed. Re-uploads were deleted. Forum threads stripped. Even scraped archive links went dead. Every trace of Stephen's video disappeared in real time. Someone somewhere had the power to erase it, but they were too late. The internet had already copied it 1,000 times. People downloaded it, encrypted it, spread it to decentralized networks, the kind that can't be censored, the kind that governments can't read. That's when people began noticing the second problem. It wasn't just Stephen's video that vanished. So did Mars. The Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter silent. Trace Gas Orbiter silent. Mars Express silent. All of them stopped sending raw data at the exact same timestamp Stephen's footage was captured. Astronomers noticed something else. The Perseverance rover camera feed cut out at the exact same moment. No signals. No images, no updates. Not damaged, not offline, shut down. Official reason? Data backlog. Unofficial reality? Something happened near Mars, something they didn't want the world to see. Silence in space is never an accident. Satellites fail, signals drift, instruments glitch. But when every orbiter around Mars and one surface rover stops transmitting at the exact same moment, that isn't a malfunction, that's a blackout, a coordinated one. Inside space communities, a nervous phrase started to spread. Mars Event Zero. No one knew what happened, but everyone knew when it happened. At the precise moment, an unknown object crossed Mars's sky. The same moment, 3I Atlas reached Mars's orbital path. Coincidence? No one who understands space believes in coincidence. Stephen Burns, confused by the sudden attention and the strange disappearance of his footage, posted a quiet message online. Is greater than, why did my video get removed? I didn't break any rules. I just filmed the sky. Minutes later, Stephen vanished from public view. His account froze. His phone disconnected. His observatory cameras shut off. Some people said he was pressured into silence. Some said he was relocated. Some say he was warned. All we know is that Stephen Burns, the man who accidentally recorded the most important astronomical event in modern history, never spoke again. People could have ignored the video. They could have dismissed it. But then something new surfaced, a leak. A set of corrupted data packets appeared anonymously across dark research forums. The files were tagged with an origin code used only by NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. If authentic, they came directly from inside the Mars network before the blackout. Most of the packets were broken static junk data, but one survived. A single low-resolution image frame. People decrypted it, cleaned it, upscaled it, and when the noise cleared, they saw a faint green arc at the edge of Mars' horizon, like something entering the planet's shadow. It wasn't a meteor. It didn't fragment. It didn't burn. Whatever it was, it slowed down. Natural objects don't slow down in space. They don't adjust. They don't change vectors. But machines do. Then a second leak appeared, this time from inside ESA, the European Space Agency. It was a fragment of an internal email thread. One line stood out more than any other. Is greater than non-random maneuver detected. Recommend immediate classification. Do not release to public archives. Non-random maneuver. Before, scientists were cautious, afraid to use the word. But now it was printed, time-stamped, and undeniable. Something flew past Mars that night. Something controlled, something intelligent, and it was headed in the same trajectory as 3I Atlas. But as always, the most dangerous answers don't come in the data, they come from the people who are willing to look too closely. Two scientists stepped forward, not officially, not proudly, but anonymously. One used the alias Solace, the other Kepler Node. They claimed they had access to compromised Mars telemetry before the lockout, and what they revealed made everything worse. They said 3I Atlas wasn't alone. Their leaked analysis claimed there were 3 other objects, small, dark, nearly invisible, moving with it in formation. They weren't random space rocks, they were precise, aligned, maintaining equal spacing, changing speed together, like escorts or components. One chilling line from Solace said it best. Is greater than you're not looking at one object, you're looking at a vehicle cluster. Vehicle cluster 3I Atlas may not be a comet at all. It may be a ship, or worse, a carrier, and it just entered our part of the solar system. When an object enters our solar system, we track it. That's just what we do. It doesn't matter if it's a grain of dust or a 10-mile wide asteroid. We monitor it, we log it, and we broadcast the data to every global observatory so the whole world stays informed. That used to be true. Not anymore, because when the Mars blackout happened, so did something else. Space data around 3I Atlas stopped updating. Public trackers froze, orbital updates stalled. The NASA Small Body Database simply said, trajectory recalculating, recalculating, over and over, for days. But comets don't require recalculations every few hours. Their paths are stable, predictable, gravitational. Unless something is altering that path. So people started asking questions. Space reporters, amateur astronomers. But official agencies responded with the same answer every time. Software issue, telemetry sync delay, under review. No real explanation. Just deflection. But out there in the cold, silent space between Mars and the asteroid belt, 3I Atlas changed direction. Not a lot, not dramatically, but just enough. A 0.004% course shift. Barely noticeable, small enough to be dismissed, but precise enough to matter. Small enough to hide unless you were watching too closely. Someone was. A team of independent astronomers in Chile cross-checked sky survey data and found that 3I Atlas nudged closer, not toward Jupiter, where it was originally projected, but slightly inward, toward the Sunday. Now, planets follow gravity. Moons follow gravity. Comets follow gravity. But this was navigation. The whisper networks inside the astronomy community got louder. This thing is adjusting. Something is powering it. Objects from another star don't fly like this. Naturally, there was only one telescope powerful enough to confirm it. The James Webb Space Telescope. People think Webb is just a giant camera, but that's not true. Webb is more like a forensic instrument. It tears objects apart by their light signatures and shows us exactly what they're made of. Hydrogen, water, ice, carbon, metal. Anything that absorbs or emits light, Webb sees it. But when Webb turned toward 3I Atlas, expecting a dirty snowball, a cold rock drifting through space, it found something else. The outer shell of the object wasn't uniform. It wasn't natural. It had patterned reflectivity regions of material arranged in a structured repeating grid exactly like engineered plating. But there was more. Webb detected carbon dioxide around the object fine. That could be comet gas. But it detected almost no water vapor. Impossible. Comets are made of ice. You can't have one without water. And then came the third and final clue, the moment everything changed. The chemical signature of refined nickel. Not nickel ore, not natural metallic trace. Refined nickel, clean, pure, industrial grade. Nickel like the kind used in spacecraft shielding. Nickel that doesn't occur in that form in nature. Nickel that was put there. Once again, the official press releases skipped all of this. They admitted some interesting anomalies. They said research was ongoing. They said Webb requires further calibration. But a leaked internal analysis from a Webb spectrograph engineer told the truth in one sentence. Is greater than either this thing formed in an industrial zone of another star system or somebody made it. And that was just the beginning. Because 3 days later, Webb found something even stranger. Light bouncing off the object was polarized backward. Forward jets, artificial metals, impossible trajectory, reversed light behavior. Nothing about 3I Atlas made sense unless we stop calling it a comet. Because maybe, just maybe, we're not looking at a visitor, we're looking at technology. If 3I Atlas were just drifting through space, we could ignore it. If it were just a strange comet, we could classify it. If it were just a rock, we could forget it. But it isn't drifting, it isn't passive, it isn't asleep. Because right after the Webb spectral scan leaked, another piece of evidence emerged, this time from radio astronomers, listening to it instead of looking at it. The first detection came from the Deep Space Network, NASA's massive interplanetary communication array used to talk to spacecraft across the solar system. One of the receivers in Goldstone, California, picked up something faint, so faint it was almost dismissed as atmospheric noise. A pulse? Repeating every 22 seconds. Weak but structured. Static doesn't repeat. Noise doesn't repeat. Space doesn't repeat anything by accident. So why did this signal? Why did it echo on a perfect rhythm again and again? No drift, no delay, no randomness. Astronomers thought it was a glitch until it was picked up again and again and again in 3 different continents. Goldstone heard it, Canberra heard it, Madrid heard it, every 22 seconds. It wasn't a transmission, not exactly. It wasn't strong enough, but there was a pattern buried inside it like a heartbeat hidden beneath white noise. It reminded some scientists of pulsars, dead stars that rotate, blasting beams like cosmic lighthouses. But pulsars don't change frequency. This did. The rhythm reacted to something. It sped up slightly when 3I Atlas neared Mars. It slowed slightly when its trajectory shifted inward. It synchronized exactly with its motion. This wasn't a comet. It wasn't a rock. It was something listening, something tracking, something alive in the mechanical sense of the word. Inside NASA, it was classified as electromagnetic resonance, a phrase that means everything and nothing at the same time. But one engineer described it differently in a private message. It's greater than, it's not a signal, it's a system check. Whatever that object is, it isn't just moving, it's operating. The pulse stopped subtly, just gone, like a machine powering down. For a moment, it felt like nothing had happened at all. Space went quiet again. The news cycle moved on. People forgot. But the people listening didn't forget. They stayed on the frequency. They kept recording data. And that's when they made a terrifying discovery. 3I Atlas wasn't alone, because tucked inside the radio stream were tiny blips barely detectable moving with it. 2 faint objects, one in front, one behind, moving in perfect synchronization. Whatever 3I Atlas was, it wasn't a single object anymore. It was a formation. 2 smaller companions, call them drones, probes, guards no one knows yet, were traveling with it. At the same speed, at the same rhythm, at the same impossible precision. Webb would soon confirm them visually. But before that happened, those 2 smaller objects did something no comet fragment has ever done before. They moved on purpose. For days, the faint formation around 3I Atlas stayed quiet. No strange pulses, no new leaks from NASA, no new detections from the Deep Space Network, just silence. But silence in space doesn't mean nothing. is happening. It means someone is hiding something. Then, new data arrived, not from Earth, but from Mars. The Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter was the first to see it. During a scheduled tracking pass, its high-resolution camera, HiRISE, captured something unexpected in the background of its images. Faint, blurred, barely visible. But it was there. Not one object, not two, three. Three-eye Atlas and two smaller synchronized companions. One slightly ahead, one trailing behind, holding perfect distance like they were tethered by invisible lines. But that wasn't the most disturbing part. Each of the smaller objects pulsed faintly, just like the 22-second rhythm detected in the radio spectrum back on Earth. The beats were in sync. The main object pulsed, and they pulsed with it, like nodes in a network, like connected machines. Webb confirmed it 20 hours later. Infrared imaging revealed narrow filaments between the objects, tiny arcs of ionized energy almost too thin to detect. But they were real. Something energy, data, electricity was being transmitted between them. NASA marked the discovery as unusual plasma interaction. The European Space Agency called it cohesive dust behavior. China simply said nothing at all, but one anonymous analyst inside JPL put it plainly, is greater than "we are looking at a networked structure." This is not a comet cluster. This is a coordinated system. Before anyone could digest the implications, the behavior changed again. For the first time since entering the solar system, Three-Eye Atlas altered its course. Just a fraction of a degree. Just a slight tilt, barely noticeable. But mathematically precise, its new trajectory no longer led it past Mars. It now tilted toward Earth. Space agencies scrambled into lockdown. Raw starfield data from the Mars orbiters stopped uploading publicly. Spectral scans were locked behind restricted access. Observation logs vanished from public servers. But it was already too late, because an amateur astronomer in Chile caught what NASA didn't want the world to see. The small companion objects moved deliberately, intelligently, with purpose. As Three-Eye Atlas reoriented itself, the two smaller objects drifted forward slowly at first, then accelerated like something activating. They broke formation and headed directly into Mars orbit. Nobody expected the smaller objects to break from formation. Not yet. Not this soon. But within just 12 hours of shifting trajectory, the two faint companions traveled ahead of Three-Eye Atlas and slipped quietly into Mars orbit. No announcement, no acknowledgement from NASA or ESA. But something strange started happening almost immediately. Mars went dark. The Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, the sharpest set of robotic eyes ever sent to another world, began returning corrupted images. Wide black smears slashed across its photos. Stars vanished from the sky behind Mars. Entire data packets came back as blank transmission blocks, like something was wiping the sky clean. At first, they blamed solar interference, radiation storms, cosmic dust. But then the glitches spread. The ESA's Trace Gas Orbiter stopped sending raw atmospheric readings. India's Mars Orbiter mission flickered offline, then came back, but only in low-resolution safe mode. MAVEN, NASA's atmospheric monitor, reported unexpected electromagnetic interference. And then it happened. Perseverance went silent. Not a shutdown, not a mechanical failure, not damage, just stopped. One moment, the rover was scanning Jezero crater like normal. The next minute, it froze mid-operation, its instruments still powered, but its cameras dead. It was receiving commands from Earth, but something was preventing it from responding. At nearly the exact same time, China's Zhurong rover also stopped transmitting entirely. Their team claimed it entered hibernation due to dust accumulation. But engineers around the world called that explanation a lie. Two rovers on opposite sides of Mars going silent within the same hour after two unidentified objects entered orbit? Not a coincidence. Somebody or something disabled them. And that wasn't all. The last image Perseverance captured before shutting down leaked from an internal telemetry log. It showed a strip of Martian horizon, dark sky above it, and a single faint green flash hovering high in the atmosphere. That flash didn't come from Mars. It didn't come from Perseverance. It came from the sky, maybe from orbit, maybe from whatever had just arrived there. Then came the most chilling part. A faint repeating signal began echoing through the deep space network, so subtle it was buried beneath static. No message, no language, just one recurring pattern every 22 seconds. The exact same rhythm that 3i Atlas had been pulsing since the day it entered our solar system. Except now, it wasn't coming from deep space anymore. It was coming from Mars. Whatever arrived in that orbit was now transmitting. And it was no longer alone, because new objects, small, faint, metallic, began appearing around Mars, one by one, like a swarm waking up. They weren't meteors. They weren't debris. They were deploying. For hours, the signal kept repeating from Mars. A low, pulsing hum buried so deep in the carrier frequency that most systems ignored it at first. But after enough filtering, enough noise reduction, the pattern emerged clearly. Every 22 seconds, precise, mechanical, intentional. It wasn't random, it wasn't natural, and strangest of all, it wasn't broadcasting outward. It wasn't trying to reach another star system. It wasn't trying to send data away. It was broadcasting down toward Mars itself, like it was activating something. NASA played it safe. Publicly, they said nothing. But inside Mission Control, engineers were working around the clock. Power levels fluctuated on the satellites orbiting Mars. Instruments went blind one by one. Guidance systems struggled to maintain stable orientation. Something was interfering not with equipment but with physics itself. Signals began bending around Mars, as if space-time there had thickened, like something massive was disturbing the electromagnetic fields of the planet. Spectrometers went blind. Navigation went blind. Telemetry packets went blind. And then Earth felt it too. The first strange readings appeared at the Arecibo Observatory Substitute Systems in Puerto Rico, monitoring background hydrogen line emissions. At 3:02 a.m. UTC, a spike hit. A tiny burst, exactly matching the hydrogen line 1,420 megahertz, the frequency of cosmic communication. It repeated once every 22 seconds. For a full hour, it kept going. Then, it changed. New modulation began riding the signal, faint at first, unclear, mathematical. When radio engineers broke down the waveform, they were stunned. It wasn't noise anymore, it was data. Inside the carrier pulse were binary packets, ones and zeros. A structured, intelligent signal, a message. When translated into raster graphics, the simplest visualization possible, one broken, pixelated image emerged from the data. It wasn't a star map. It wasn't a chemical formula. It wasn't even a shape from nature. It was 3 curving spiral lines interlocked, 3 paths, 3 arcs, intersecting across a central point. Not human, not random, not meaningless. And once again, 22 seconds. Everything returned to that number, that rhythm, that beat. So naturally, somebody asked, "Is this a countdown?" But someone else whispered the real question. What happens when it reaches Earth? Because 3i Atlas wasn't slowing down anymore. It was accelerating. Something had changed. 3i Atlas was no longer behaving like a silent visitor passing through the solar system. It was acting, reacting, as though it had now begun the real phase of its mission. If it even was a mission. As the object accelerated out of its Mars flyby, astronomers expected gravity to pull it along a gentle outbound arc back toward interstellar space. But 3i Atlas didn't follow the expected path. It adjusted, just a small course shift, barely visible at first. But mathematically, impossible. No natural comet changes trajectory toward a planet. Yet that's exactly what it did. It angled slightly but deliberately toward Earth, not by accident, not by chance. And that same moment, the spiral symbol from the binary transmission repeated itself, this time over radio frequencies detected all across the planet. Australia heard it first, then Spain, then Japan, then Chile. Then the Deep Space Network in California. It wasn't just space antennas picking it up anymore. Ordinary ham radios could hear it. Deep sea cables hummed with it. Even household electronics, TVs, baby monitors, cheap speakers occasionally produced tiny faint pulses at strange intervals. Most people thought it was interference. It wasn't. The spirals weren't just symbols anymore. They were a frequency. They were everywhere. Inside a classified signal lab at JPL, 2 engineers, Marissa Cho and Daniel Ruiz, managed to decode more packets from the repeating signal. The spirals weren't random, they were part of a sequence. Every cycle revealed a new pattern. At first, the spirals were rough broken. Then they grew clearer, sharper, organized. It looked like a construction blueprint being loaded line by line. Ruiz stared at it, speechless. "This isn't a picture," he said quietly. "It's a process." "Process for what?" Cho asked. He didn't answer, because at that moment, something else appeared in the data. A 4th signal layer hidden deeper than anything before. A second image appeared next to the spirals, ghosted, faint, fighting against interference, but unmistakable. It wasn't astronomy. It wasn't geometry. It was Earth. Our planet. A perfect outline, tagged by 3 coordinate points. And those points matched 3 exact locations across the world. A point in the Pacific Ocean, a point in the Sahara Desert, and a point in Antarctica. Nobody said it out loud in the room, but every person present felt it. Those weren't random coordinates. They were destinations, targets, or worse, activation sites. And still radio telescopes confirmed. 3i Atlas was continuing to approach. It was no longer just visiting, it was coming. 3 dots on the map, 3 exact Earth locations tagged in the transmission, each of them carefully chosen. Not random, not geological quirks, not weather anomalies. These were places that humans were never supposed to dig into. The first coordinate? Somewhere deep in the South Pacific Ocean, far from any land. A place known only to sailors and satellite trackers. Out there, in the middle of nowhere, lies the most isolated point on the planet. Point Nemo, the oceanic pole of inaccessibility. Named after Captain Nemo from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, because nothing lives there, no major sea life, no shipping routes, and no permanent human presence. It's so far from civilization that astronauts aboard the ISS are often the closest humans to it. Most people don't know this. But Point Nemo is already used by governments. It's a spacecraft graveyard, the place where NASA, Roscosmos, and other space agencies crash their dead satellites and old space stations. More than 260 spacecraft have been dropped into the water there, including the 143-ton Russian Mir space station and dozens of classified modules nobody will talk about. It is a technological dumping ground, a mass grave for secrets. And now 3i Atlas was pointing right at it. Why? Did something fall there that wasn't human? Or did someone leave something there knowing this day might come? The second coordinate in the encoded spiral pointed directly to the Sahara Desert, specifically an area near the Tenere region of Niger, a place so empty that it's been called the desert within the desert. Desolate, silent, older than civilization. At that location, archaeologists once found microscopic glass crystals melted into the sand, created by temperatures hotter than the surface of the Sunday. Mainstream science blamed ancient meteor impacts. But fragments found nearby tell a different story. The sand wasn't just melted, it was shaped, cut into near-perfect symmetry. Someone or something used intense energy here long before humans recorded history. Even more disturbing, old US military satellite images from the 1,980 seconds show massive geometric patterns carved faintly beneath the dune's kilometer-wide circles connected by straight, perfect lines. They are too large to see from the ground, too erased to be natural. Something lies buried beneath that desert. Something something waiting. And then, the third coordinate. The coldest, deadliest, most forbidden place on Earth, Antarctica. But not just anywhere, this one pointed near Dome Sea, a research zone claimed by both France and Italy, but highly restricted. Satellites caught something there in 2011. A heat signature hundreds of feet under the ice, pulsing, then vanishing. When glaciologists tried to drill near that area, the military shut it down. No explanation given, no access allowed, not even to the scientists already there. Why would multiple governments guard a block of ice? Unless it wasn't just ice. Unless the three sides were connected. Point Nemo Deep Ocean. The Sahara Desert buried glass and geometry. Antarctica heat beneath the ice. Ocean, land, ice. 3 points spread evenly across the globe. A triangulation. Someone or something on 3i Atlas was marking those locations for a reason. It wasn't random. It was a pattern, a map, maybe even a system. And then came the chilling realization, one that swept through the astronomy community like a silent wildfire. These 3 points form an equilateral triangle when plotted on a globe. A design so precise it can't be accidental. Almost like Earth isn't just being observed, it's being scanned. For days, scientists tried to dismiss it. They called it coordinate coincidence, a mapping illusion, even digital noise. But when geophysicists overlaid seismic maps, magnetic anomalies, and ancient alignments across Earth, something impossible appeared. Those three locations, Point Nemo, the Sahara Tenere Zone, and Antarctica Dome Sea, weren't just marked by 3-eye atlas. They were already connected, not on the surface, but underground. A team from the European Geoscience Agency ran a deep tomography scan of the planet, like an MRI of Earth's interior. When they enhanced the density variations beneath the crust, a network of structures revealed itself, massive shapes so enormous they spanned hundreds of kilometers. They weren't natural. They were built. Buried below the Earth, hidden beneath tectonic plates, were colossal triangular foundations, aligned perfectly with the three surface locations. These weren't simple rock formations. They had symmetry, repeating geometric layers, and internal cavities. Someone or something constructed them before humans walked the Earth. The Point Nemo structure was the smallest, just over 40 kilometers across, buried beneath the seafloor. It resonated faintly with low-frequency vibrations every 24 seconds, the exact same pulse detected in the 3-eye atlas signal. The Sahara structure was partially fossilized in ancient volcanic bedrock. Its walls were lined with glass-like material, just like the melted desert surface. It was made to withstand unimaginable heat. But it was what lay under Antarctica that sent cold terror through every agency monitoring the discovery. 180 kilometers wide, perfectly hexagonal, electromagnetically sealed and active. When they isolated seismic data from Dome C, they realized something horrifying. The deeper sensors went, the more rhythmic the readings became. Beneath 3 miles of ice, something was powered. Something that had been turned off for millions of years was now warming up. Geophysicist Dr. Annika Ree from the National Research Institute was the first to say it out loud. It's greater than, we're not detecting geothermal activity, we're detecting machinery. Shortly after, her paper was retracted. Her research access revoked. She stopped responding to messages. No official explanation was ever given. Suddenly, everything made sense. 3-eye atlas wasn't just passing through. It came here with a purpose. It scanned Earth, mapped 3 buried locations, and then sent a pulse, a 24-second signal. Not a warning, not a message, a command, because readings from beneath Antarctica began to change after that moment. The pulse from the comet synced with the pulse under the ice, and then they pulsed together. At first, scientists thought it was an echo, a reflection of the signal from 3-eye atlas bouncing inside Earth. But then, a nightmare realization emerged. The pulses weren't coming from space anymore. They were coming from beneath Antarctica. Something down there had received the signal. Something was responding. And then, one more signal surfaced. Not from Earth, not from Atlas, but from somewhere else. Something else had heard the activation, and it was already moving. In deep space, another object changed course. And now, it's coming. News never broke about the seismic structures. No press conferences. No emergency meetings on live TV. Just silence. The pulse continued every 24 seconds, unbroken, planet-wide. And people started to feel it. Literally, sensitive radio receivers picked it up. Old CRT televisions flickered with it. Even animals reacted. Migratory birds flew off course, whales changed direction, and beehives collapsed in areas closest to the magnetic node. But then came something far worse. A new object was detected beyond Neptune. Unlike 3-eye atlas, this one wasn't hiding behind ice and dust. It didn't pretend to be a rock or a comet. It announced itself. The first detection came from the Very Long Baseline Array, a network of 10 giant telescopes spread across the United States. Astronomers thought it was a glitch, a moving point of infrared light, steady, bright, and controlled. Then it accelerated. Fast. The object was originally catalogued as KX-47, but that name didn't last long. Its speed increased from 30 kilometers per second to 80 kilometers per second, then 150 kilometers per second. That's faster than any human spacecraft has ever traveled, and it was still speeding up. More importantly, it wasn't following a gravitational path. It was navigating. Then, someone made a terrifying connection. When they projected the trajectory of KX-47 inward, it didn't head toward the Sunday or Jupiter or even Mars. It was coming directly toward Earth, right toward the Antarctica node, the one now pounding out silent seismic responses from deep beneath the ice. KX-47 was not here by accident. It was arriving. Meanwhile, seismic vibrations beneath Dome C intensified. The harmonics coming from deep under Antarctica changed from pulses into patterns. Engineers translated the signal visually and found that it wasn't just noise, it was structured, a waveform too regular to be natural. It carried repeating frequency ladders, like steps. Each harmonic climbed higher lockstep. 3I Atlas sent the first pulse. Antarctica responded. Now KX-47 was replying with a call signal. A three-way communication had begun. Governments panicked behind closed doors. Project Argus, a hidden branch of the Deep Space Network, was activated. A classified no-fly zone over Antarctica was declared. Cargo aircraft detected flying toward Dome C vanished from flight logs. Satellites shifted position to cover the South Pole. Something massive, something humanity was never meant to see, was now being prepared for. But not everyone obeyed the blackout. A private Japanese satellite, Hibiki 5, pointed infrared sensors at Dome C and caught it. The ice was cracking from below. The footage showed fractures in the ice, stretching in straight lines, not chaotic like natural fissures. These were geometric. They formed angles, precise angles merging outward in spirals, like a buried door unlocking. Under 3 miles of ice, something enormous was shifting. And then came the leak. Someone inside the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency leaked 5 steel frames from Hibiki 5. They spread across the internet before being deleted. But not fast enough. Frame 3 showed it clearly faint, but undeniable. A ring of blue light under the Antarctic ice, rotating, powered, active. For years, conspiracy theorists talked about secret Antarctic bases, hidden entrances, magnetic anomalies. They were dismissed, but the truth was always buried there. Literally, something ancient, something engineered, something waiting for a signal from space. Now the signal had arrived, and its messenger was still inbound at impossible speed. 3I Atlas was never the threat. It was the key. The real event was still coming, and according to new telescopic data, KX-47 isn't alone. The world still doesn't know about KX-47. Officially, it doesn't exist. But in the classified briefing rooms where space agencies now sit with military generals, no one is arguing anymore about what it is. Because the newest tracking data from NASA's Deep Space Network revealed one final update, and it changed everything. KX-47 isn't one object. It's a convoy. the signal data didn't lie. Behind the lead object KX-47, there are now 6 smaller objects, moving in a perfect hexagonal formation. Not orbiting it, not debris, not tail fragments. Flying with it. Same speed, same direction, same maneuvering curve. And every single one of them, just like 3i Atlas, pulses with that same unnatural 24-second frequency, a cadence now embedded inside Earth's magnetic field. This is no comet fragment. This is coordination. The James Webb Space Telescope turned toward them. Long exposure imaging, infrared sweep, chemical spectral breakdown, and when the Webb team overlaid signatures from 3i Atlas, the match was exact. Same nickel-fused signature. Same metallic vapor trails. Same absence of organic compounds. Same engineered composition. And one more disturbing match. All 7 incoming objects share a synchronized thermal pattern like heartbeats. The order of events was no longer random. First came 3i Atlas triggering a pulse signal. Then Earth responded, awakening buried seismic nodes. Now a fleet is entering from deep space, headed straight toward the signal origin point in Antarctica. Something has been awakened. Something is responding. And now something is coming. Every intelligence agency is fighting over one question. Are they here to communicate or to reclaim something? We finally know their arrival time. If current projections hold, the convoy will reach Earth's orbital boundary in 9 months. 9 months. Like a countdown, like a due date. The Deep Space Network has been trying to ping the objects directly. They aren't answering, but they are listening, because last week, Earth sent nothing. No broadcast, no radar ping, no test pulse. But KX-47 responded anyway. It changed course slightly but deliberately. It adjusted to match Earth's rotation just like 3i Atlas once did. Whatever this is, it is now tracking us. And then came the final transmission from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter before contact with it was lost. A blurred steel frame, distorted by radiation, barely visible, but seen by enough people before it was buried. A geometric structure was spotted on the lead object, not random, not natural, built, shaped like a portal ring. The leaked Mars orbiter frame shouldn't exist. Every agency denies it. NASA, ESA, even ISRO, the Indian Space Research Organization, have all issued firm statements. No artificial structure has been detected on any celestial object associated with Interstellar Visitor 3. But the image was real. Too many independent analysts saved it. Too many forensic renderers enhanced it. Too many pattern analysts confirmed the same thing. There is architecture on the lead object KX-47, a ring-shaped structure, symmetrical, segmented, and glowing from within like it is powered. It is not a scan artifact. It is machined. No one noticed it at first because of the noise and interference. But once the lighting and filters were corrected, the shape came forward clean, terrifying, and impossible to dismiss. Even worse, it matches something on Earth. Buried in Antarctic ice miles below the surface, there is a structure. One that has been privately studied for over 43 years by a coalition of US Antarctic research teams under a project name very few people have ever heard of. Project Echo Spiral. On the surface, it was listed as a geothermal mapping expedition. In reality, it was extraction. Extraction of something they found by accident, something that wasn't supposed to be there. A ring, perfectly circular, composed of an unknown alloy, measuring 140 meters in diameter, half buried in the bedrock, a ring that matches exactly shape for shape, segment for segment, the structure now seen on KX-47. Not similar, not comparable, identical. Same proportions, same triangular energy nodes at cardinal points, same outer edge ridges designed for mechanical or magnetic alignment, same faint spiral symbol on one of the internal arms. And that symbol, the spiral, appears again and again throughout human history. The Nazca Desert carvings in Peru, the megalithic spirals at Newgrange in Ireland, the petroglyph spirals of Native American tribes, the helix glyphs in ancient Mesopotamian tablets, even carved under ruins found beneath Lake Titicaca. This shape does not belong to any one human culture. It is universal, older than writing, older than agriculture. Some say it represents life. Some say time. Some say the stars. But what if it was never a symbol? What if it was a warning? According to internal echo, spiral documents hidden under defense contract language, engineers weren't trying to study the ring. They were trying to turn it off. Because every 24 hours it emitted a pulse. Not loud, not dangerous, just present. Buried under magnetometer data. Barely detectable unless you knew to look. A pulse, a hum. The same hum now echoing through Earth's electromagnetic field. The same hum synchronized with 3i Atlas. The same hum now pulsing from the convoy of 7 objects approaching Earth. This was never a coincidence. Someone didn't just come here, they're coming back. The world was never supposed to know about Echo Spiral. Officially, the project never existed. Unofficially, it became the most classified discovery since nuclear physics. It began in 1982 when a deep, penetrating radar scan in Antarctica, part of a geological survey, returned something impossible. Not ice, not rock, not a cavern. Geometry, perfect geometry. Inside the Earth's oldest, deepest ice engineers found something built. A ring-like megastructure forged from an alloy not found anywhere on Earth, what scientists called element S47, stronger than titanium, flexible as aluminum, immune to corrosion. It shouldn't exist, yet it does. They dug it out piece by piece using thermal drills. It took 7 years to expose the full object. When they did, everything changed. The device wasn't broken. It wasn't a ruin. It was waiting. At first, they thought it was inert dead technology. But then, the sensors started registering activity. Not constant, just a pulse, every 24 seconds. A faint electromagnetic heartbeat, cycling at exactly the same frequency, now being broadcast across Earth's atmosphere from interstellar object 3. This wasn't a new signal. It was a reconnection. Something out there just answered, something down here. Inside Echo, spiral reports now leaked on encrypted channels. Scientists wrote something disturbing. Is greater than 3i Atlas. Is not just visiting our solar system, it is interacting with a pre-existing network. This may not be the first time. Let that sink in. This has happened before. Why Antarctica? That's what drove the researchers insane, because it wasn't alone. In 1996, another structure was found, this time buried under the Himalayas. Then another beneath the Sahara Desert. Then another submerged off the coast of Japan. Each one identical, each one pulsing, each one now active. A global network hidden beneath Earth for tens of thousands of years coming online. And every node now beats in sync with the convoy approaching behind 3I Atlas. In a restricted echo-spiral debrief, one scientist wrote, "Is greater than, this is not an invasion, this is reactivation." So what does that mean? Who built these structures? What is this network for? And what is about to happen when all of them are activated? Because here's what the newest seismic data shows. Something beneath Antarctica is moving. The Echo Spiral facility was never meant to go public. Buried under 40 meters of reinforced steel and ice is set deep beneath Antarctica, powered by 3 nuclear reactors and shielded from every satellite on Earth. No data ever got out. Nothing went in without clearance, until it broke containment, and someone forced them to transmit a final warning. That message was buried, censored, erased from the official incident log, but not before one engineer risked everything to leak it. His name was Dr. Elias Coring. He vanished 3 days later. The message he released was only 9 seconds long, and yet it said more than any government press release ever will. Before we get to that message, we need context, because what triggered it wasn't random. The moment 3I Atlas passed Mars, Echo Spiral detected a direct communication hit, not from Earth, but from space. The buried structures, those ancient silent machines under Antarctica and the Himalayas and the Sahara, they woke up. And then, for the first time in human history, they responded. They spoke, not in sound, not in language, in frequency. The machines began generating synchronized pulses of electromagnetic energy. That by itself was alarming, but that wasn't what set off the emergency protocol. No, the signal wasn't just energy. It contained structure. It carried a pattern. When the engineers at Echo Spiral slowed down the waveform using a quantum harmonic solver, they found something beyond astonishing. Hidden inside the pulse was math. Precise, perfect, intentional math. Ratios, prime sequences, geometric symmetry, all encoded flawlessly. This wasn't random noise. This was a message. That's when a red alert hit the control decks. Something had changed inside the largest buried structure, codenamed Gate 1. It began to emit a sustained, low-frequency tone that shook the entire facility. Readings went haywire. Instruments overloaded. The structure was building energy more than its thermal logs could account for. Something massive was about to happen. They tried to shut it down. They failed. The lockdown alarm triggered. 9 seconds later, the facility transmitted its last ever message. It wasn't sent through NASA, not through the Deep Space Network, not even through official scientific channels. It was broadcast through seismic modulation encoded into the Earth itself, hidden inside a geological update. But when decrypted, the transmission contained only 3 lines. Is greater than, the network is active. It was not built by them. Do not respond. After that, silence. The facility went dark. The entrances sealed. Communications severed. Every scientist who worked there is now listed as missing under national security classification, and the world was never told. But that message, the part nobody can explain, is the second line. It was not built by them. Who is them? More importantly, who is it saying built the network beneath our planet? This isn't just a space mystery anymore. This is a planetary secret. And in part 17, we go deeper because the next discovery didn't happen in Antarctica, it happened in Peru. And this time, it wasn't scientists who found it. It was a child. The discovery in Antarctica wasn't the end. It was the first piece. The second came from one of the last places anyone expected, a mountainside village in Peru. A shepherd boy named Hilario Quispe, just 12 years old, was tending his family's alpacas near the ruins at Machu Picchu when he noticed something strange, a green pulsing light reflecting off a glacier cave at dusk. Thinking it was a drone or a camera from tourists, he went to look closer. Inside the cave, carved into the walls, were spirals. The same three-armed spiral that matched the pattern from 3I Atlas. But these carvings weren't new, they were ancient. Older than Inca stonework, older than written history. But that wasn't even the shocking part. Hilario found a disc half buried in ancient ice. It was metallic, etched with symbols, and warm to the touch. No one believed him until his older sister posted a video online, and overnight, just like that, it disappeared. Deleted, vanished, their house was raided, their entire family taken into protective custody. But before the video vanished, 5 million people saw it. And one person, Dr. Elias Corin, the missing scientist from Echo Spiral, downloaded it. He decoded the disk. It was not a relic, it was a map, a planetary lattice showing 12 buried structures, not just on Earth, but on Mars and Europa too. A network, the same network the Echo Spiral scientists warned about. The same network that just activated. For weeks, satellites around Earth picked up faint electromagnetic tremors. Everyone chalked it up to solar interference. But then, radio observatories started reporting something else, a rising carrier wave. The hum from 3I Atlas, the same 24-second pulse that synced with Earth's magnetic field, was getting louder. But now, it wasn't just a hum. It was modulating, changing, responding, like it was waiting for something, like it was listening. Then, the Polar Observatory at Vostok Station made a chilling discovery. The buried structures weren't just active, they were transmitting back. Pentagon insiders leaked a document titled The Ptolemy Report. It confirmed everything. The buried structures are powered. They are communicating with something in deep space. They're not human-made. They have been dormant for possibly millions of years. But the final line of the document is what shook the scientific world. Is greater than activation was triggered by approaching signal source. The trigger event is extraterrestrial, secondary function unknown. 3I Atlas wasn't a random object. It was the key, a signal to wake the network below us. Some scientists now believe the network hasn't just woken up, it has started to build. Deep Earth scanners now show movement inside the buried structures. Something is assembling. Not machines, not weapons, gateways. Every satellite on Earth went blind for 16 seconds. Total blackout. No communications, no radar, no GPS, no warning. When systems came back online, it was already here. A formation of 3 objects now orbits directly above Earth's equator. Same triangular formation as the thermal signatures detected by James Webb near Mars. They did not arrive by propulsion. They appeared instantly. Their reflective surfaces shimmer with the same nickel alloy found in 3I Atlas. The same unnatural composition, the same signature technology. They are not transmitting. They are waiting above us. And then every deep space listening array received a synchronized message. Same signal, same pulse, no longer just a hum. now a pattern, now a sentence decoded through mathematics, is greater than so 3 confirmed. Gateway sequence armed. Stand by for arrival. Arrival, not invasion, not attack. Arrival, something is coming here, and humanity has run out of time to ignore it. It began as a hush. The world's instruments held their breath, and then the sky split open in signal. Above Earth, the 3 shimmering orbiters aligned with a buried nose below Antarctica, Sahara, Point Nemo. The pulse from the network pulsed upward, meeting the newcomers in silent resonance. The hum became a wave, a tidal electric wave, folding Earth, sky, and space into the same frequency. 3i Atlas, now far past Mars, sent one last beam, sharp, narrow, deliberate, and it struck one of the orbiters. The impact wasn't destructive in the traditional sense. No explosion, no blast wave. But the orbiter glowed from within. Patterns rippled across its shell like veins of light. It activated. The buried structures throughout Earth answered. In Antarctica, the ice cracked, releasing vapor and shimmer. In the Sahara, heat bloomed beneath dunes. In the ocean above Point Nemo, the sea boiled, geysers venting like the planet was breathing. Each node lit in turn, each gateway awakened. Every buried ring, every hidden pattern formed inside Earth's bones now glowed bright with power. Then the 3 orbiters opened, not with a roar, but with a beam. A column of light stretching downward, connecting each spacecraft to its corresponding Earth node. A bridge, a pathway from the heavens, a pulse, a frame, a signal. It spelled one word: welcome, then darkness. The beams vanished, the hum cut off. Silence. Earth trembled. Every sensor quivered. The air tasted different. The magnetic field hummed. Inside mission control rooms across the globe, engineers watched telemetry drop. Plots glitched. Satellite feeds blacked out. And then, Earth's sky flickered just for a heartbeat, a faint spiral pattern visible across clouds, reflected back to Earth from high-altitude ions. In that moment, every human looking upward saw the same thing. A spiral in the sky, a gate opening, a path forming between the stars and our planet. And for the first time in human memory, we understood our place. We were not alone, but not just visited. We were joined. The network beneath us had not been waiting for humanity. It had been waiting for life. And now that it knows we exist, the doors are open.